following video will take mentors through the running of Santa's visit to Kilmacud Crokes and is primarily aimed at the mentors of the 2009 boys who may not be familiar with the event. For the 2009 boys, the event will be run between two locations on the Glenalbyn site. Assuming it's a fine day, the event will be run between the paddock and the function room, which will serve as Santa's grotto. If on the other hand we have a wet day, the event will be run between the hurling arena and the function room. The following plan is for a dry day. The 2009 boys should congregate on the paddock from about 8:50 am or even a little bit earlier, in anticipation of Santa's arrival at 9 am. They should congregate in the vicinity of the gate because this is the point where Santa will arrive. As the car park would be very full on the day, it would be just too difficult for Santa to land his sleigh, so instead it will make the last leg of his journey by car and will arrive at the gates of the paddock at 9 am. He will then get out of the car, dress the boys briefly before moving across to the grotto. As this move to the grotto is taking place, the 2009 boys should be then divided into three groups with no more than 50 boys per group. The first group should be assembled in a line immediately adjacent to the gate, as this will be the group that moves first across to see Santa. Again, just important to emphasise that there should be no more than 50 boys in this group. On the signal, hopefully at 9:15 am, that group of 50 boys with their parents should move along the pathway across to Santa's grotto, which will be located in the function room. These are some images from last year's event. As you can see, the pathway is clearly marked out. Boys follow the pathway with their parents and walk up the steps to enter into the function room. Meanwhile, back in the paddock, the second two groups of 50 boys can be organised into the red and the green zones respectively. These zones will be marked out with appropriately colour-coded cones. The second group of 50 boys that will go to see Santa will occupy the red zone. It's important to vacate this zone fairly early on, as the 2008 players will start to move in and occupy it. The third group of 50 boys will occupy the green zone. When in the red and green zones, the idea is really to keep the boys warm, keep them entertained, keep them moving around and have them ready and get them organised into a queue at the appropriate signal. At the appropriate pre-arranged signal, Group 2 should form themselves into a queue and should follow the same pathway across to Santa's grotto. Again, it's very important that there should be a maximum of 50 players in this group. Again, at the appropriate signal, the third group of boys should organise themselves into a queue and should follow the marked pathway across to Santa's grotto. Again, a maximum of 50 players please. How will the grotto be organised? Having followed the pathway which leads to the paddock, the boys and their parents should climb the outside steps and should enter the function room via the door which overlooks the car park. They should then move into the dance floor area, in which there will be a DJ who will be playing some music. There will also be some tables on the right hand side as you enter the function room, and these tables will have some goodies on which will be given to the boys immediately before going to see Santa. Santa meanwhile will be waiting in his grotto. At 9:15 the first group of 50 boys will be on the dance floor. At the appropriate signal, they will be gathered in groups of approximately 10, who will form a queue, will be given some goodies before moving in to see Santa in his grotto. There will be a one-way system in operation, so the boys, having seen Santa, will not come back into this area but will exit the building via the door which overlooks the park to broker steps. Another group of 10 will follow, and so on until that group of 50 boys have all been to see Santa. At this point, the next group of 50 boys will arrive and the cycle will continue. event of the day being very wet, there's a second plan in place. It revolves around the hurling arena and Santa's grotto. At 9 a.m. the 2009 boys should be organised in a queue in the arena in anticipation of Santa's arrival. Santa will arrive as previously and will come into the arena to see the boys before moving across to the grotto. While Santa is moving to the grotto, mentors should select the first 50 boys to see Santa from the queue. There will be a one-way system in operation within the hurling arena, with players entering through the side door and exiting out through the main front door. It's important again to avoid overcrowding in the function room, around 50 players maximum at a time moving across to see Santa. At the signal 9:15, players should follow the yellow pathway and should enter the function room as described previously. This cycle then repeats itself with 50 more boys moving across the appropriate signal, and so on and so on. A number of key points to emphasise. The first is that there potentially are up to 480 boys to see Santa that morning. If Santa is able to see each boy for 30 seconds, this will take up to 4 hours. Therefore, it's very important to keep the schedule. There also will be some overlap between one group finishing and another group arriving, so it's important to be mindful of that as well. The second key point relates to the number of presents available. Now, while we'll have a small buffer built in to the number of presents we have, the absolute maximum we will be able to cater for is 160 2009 boys. It goes without saying that Santa cannot run out of presents under any circumstance, so we may have to consider some form of ticket system, which we'll discuss with you nearer the time. Thank you all for your attention.